You are surrounded by abundance. Breathe it in. It's already yours. The universe is listening. Speak your desires into light. The garden grows because you believe. This is your time. Welcome to Manifestation Monday. Hello there, my darlings. Hello and welcome to you. Today is August 11th of 2025. Hello, hello. Big hugs, big smoochies, because you know what today is. I'm going to give you a little hint. Hold on. I got to show you, because you know. Let me see. Here we are. And I am happy camper. Look at this. And boy, I have felt like that because Mercury retrograde went direct today. I wish I had, wait, I don't have my cheering for some reason doesn't work on my phone. I have no idea. Here we are. Nothing works. I don't know what's going on my thing. So anyway, I'm cheering and you're cheering and this is it. It's been a tough one. This has been a tough Mercury retrograde. It started out sort of kind of okay. We plowed through and then things just started. So I lit the fire for you all to be here. We have Poe, we have the little ghost, we have the four little witches, and we're ready to go. Welcome to Manifestation Monday. My name is Lady Zelda Kelly von Gerlitz, and we're here to talk about law of attraction. We're here to talk about everything else. I want to welcome each and every one of you to True Oracle, and I want to welcome my beautiful mod, Captain Jerry. She is here holding down the fort, taking the helm of the ship, and we're good. Now, I want to thank each and every one of you for being with me on Saturday night. Was that not wonderful with attorney Melanie Little? And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a little hint. I don't know when yet, but we're trying to put together a show with not only attorney Melanie Little, but with our friend Richie Microdots as well. The three of us together hold the line. It is going to be wonderful. But, you know, we've got schedules. Pardon me, we've got schedules. So that's it for there. I want to thank you each and every one. And how many of you have your little rice jars? I have a bigger rice jar. I packed that full. I want you to know. I put all kinds of things in my little rice jar. I've been having it on. We're still on the how do I want to say, the light of the sturgeon moon a little bit. So we're on the reflection. Still put your rice jar upside down, outside on the windowsill, wherever it will not be disturbed. Believe me, I got this thing, hello, packed. So I probably am going to have 3 rice jars by the end of it. Thank you. Standing stones. Bless you. That Zelda, she's a talker. She certainly is. And listen, we're going to continue to be a talker as well. We're going to really go forward with this. So, and Farah says, look at that little sweetheart in the profile picture. Oh, that was an amazing with you and Melanie. Such a great show. Thank you so much. I've had so many people say that. And not only did it benefit the channel, I've got to say this, because we are now almost up to, on my channel, 11,000 subs. Did I ever thought I was going to say that? No. So now we're going for 50,000, my friends. We're going for 50,000. Not unheard of. Definitely possible. And the big news is, with True Oracle, we are almost at 4,000 subs. Now, it has been a journey with this channel. And the reason why is because you probably have noticed there's a lot of channels out there that read cards and read this and read that. And we're going to be adding some things on here that I think we need to set ourselves apart a little bit. But once we receive that, once we receive that 4,000, I almost said $4,000. I'll take that. Hello, thank you. That 4,000 sub marker, we're going to have a big celebration. We're going to have a big giveaway. I'm going to give some readings away. I might even give a bracelet away. We're going to do all kinds of little goodies because we have to celebrate you. I wish I could give memberships away. It is impossible they call us creators. I think we're more than that. I don't know what I am. I'm not an influencer. I don't know what, but the people who have the channels, for whatever reason, we can't do that anyway. So, my darling, hold on. We've got a question. And if any of you want to know these things, let me see. It just kind of flew by me. Y'all are all good. Okay. Not ignorance whatsoever, Mitchell. Thank you so much for being here. What kind of rice? Uncooked, obviously. Any rice. Short grain, arborio, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, basmati, regular, whatever you have that's handy. Rice will attract. That's what it is. If you have any questions about a rice jar, go over to our psychic shop. I've written a little digital download. It's not very much and not very long, and it'll explain everything and put everything right. And you can have your rice jar tonight. And if you don't have, all it takes to start out is a wee little jar. Just all it takes is a little jar. Just a little one. To start out. And I'm going to tell you the wondrous things that have come from this. Doors opening, solutions, growth, opportunity. Hello. And that's what I wanted for you too. And that's what brings us here tonight. So I've done a little thing for you all because I love you so much. And I've got my notes. Hello. I want to talk to you tonight because I mentioned it last weekend. I want to talk to you tonight about reading the Proverbs. Now, the book of Proverbs in the Bible. Now, I know most of you don't have the time and it's kind of confusing. Where can I get these? Okay, I've taken all the confusion out of it for you. But I want to talk to you a little bit about that tonight because I'm going to say there's 31 chapters in the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs were written by King Solomon. And when I give a reading, if I show the Emperor card, I call it the King Solomon card because that's the energy that I wish that we all had. I wish I had more of that energy. Something about King Solomon that you may or may not know, but I'll share a story. He was the richest king to date in the world. And I'll give you some figures that we can translate from biblical time until now. But when he became king, his father was King David. So, David and Goliath, King David. His father was King David. And when Solomon took over the throne, a lot of people came to him to help make decisions. And there was a very interesting story about how there was a famine and some of the babies were not making it through. Let me just put it that way. So there were two women that had two babies. The one woman's baby passed away during the night. She went over to the other woman and stole her baby. She switched babies. So when the woman woke up and saw that there was an unalive baby with her, she recognized that was not her baby. So she went over there and she saw that it was her baby. And these two women, rightfully so for Mama, were skirmishing over the baby. So what did they do? They went to King Solomon. King Solomon, in his wisdom, left them both talking, heard them both, gave them both the floor, and both of them time to say. And he basically said, because they were tugging on this poor baby, so he said, look, this is what I'm going to do. And he got his sword and he said, let's just take care of this and cut the baby in half, and then you each get a half. The true mother let the baby go because she didn't want to see her baby be hurt. So she let the baby go. And King Solomon said, I know who the mother is now. See, in all his wisdom, sometimes you have to get down to the rubber meets the road. So he said, I know who the true mother is. So the baby will remain with the mother, and I'm sorry about your child, and sent the other woman away. Now, that's the King Solomon that we're talking about. That's the wisdom and the understanding that I want to give to you. I embarked on this journey a long time ago, and unfortunately, I'm going to admit, sometimes I take the things that I do for granted. And it's because it's just become a lifestyle. Sometimes I don't even think about sharing what I've done, like as far as attracting or anything, I do with the rice jar, because I have this little guy sitting right here on my desk in front of my monitor, in front of my keyboard, ready to go. And anytime I see something, I open him up and I dig in there and I make a little spot and I stick something more in. Well, he's bursting at the seams and I've got to really take care of it. But I'm going to end up with about 3 rice jars. So I'm going to explain this to you, made some little notes, and I think this is so interesting for you. So why are we talking about Proverbs? First of all, like I said, there are 31 chapters in the book of Proverbs, and we can use that as a daily wisdom calendar. How long is a chapter? Well, when I was reading it today, maybe 2 minutes, 4 minutes tops, and I'm going to take the pain out of that for you. So it is designed for repetition. How do we learn? By repetition, by hearing it over and over. It is designed so with God's wisdom, things can sink in deeper and deeper and deeper into our thinking. I know people who actually have never heard of the book of Proverbs, who've never read it, and started listening, started hearing, started reading. And by the end of the 31 days, their lives have been completely changed and for the better. And that's what it's supposed to be. And you can say, well, gosh, my life isn't so bad now. I didn't say it was. What I'm saying is this is something that you can really, really think. I'm going to put because I know some people watch on TV. I'm going to put your comments right down here, and here they come, just like little magic. Ooh. Okay, so what does it do? It trains decision making. Proverbs daily helps with dealing every day with our lives. Speech, relationships, money, work ethic, justice, temptation, and spiritual priorities. The more you hear it, the faster your mind recalls it before you act. You see, that's the whole idea of it, is because if you set out to do something, all of a sudden, automatically, and that happens to me. That's why I said I wear this ring that says Jesus on it. It happens to me because Don't worry, my darlings. You don't have to worry. Don't worry. There's no reason to even worry if you've never read it. I'm taking all that out. So hang in there. Don't hang in there, okay? So before you make a decision, all of a sudden there's going to be like almost an instant recall that, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. And I know that many of you are going to think when you hear it, wow, I've heard that before. So I want you to know that this is going to be good. It's God's preventative medicine. What does that mean? Many proverbs are warnings. Why do we get warned? Well, to keep us out of trouble. That's why we get a warning. Unfortunately, sometimes the only lessons we learn are the ones that are so painful. Why are they painful? Well, because we wouldn't learn them otherwise. We remember the pain, right? And each time we graduate into something new, seems like we are tested. Well, when you graduate from kindergarten, you take a test. From primary school, from junior high, high school, you go into college, university, anything. If you gain into a new career promotion, sometimes you have to take training. Sometimes you have to take a test. Sometimes you have to prove yourself. And that's what it's all about. Okay, my darlings. Many proverbs are warnings, and hearing them daily prevents us from getting into a trap before it happens. How many times have we gotten into traps? Yeah, hello. We think we know better. I've got my hand up, probably the highest. Example, I'm going to give you an example. A gentle answer turns away wrath. Proverbs 15:1 can stop a conflict before it explodes. So instead of saying, oh, you so-and-so, you did this, all you have to think of is, okay, thanks. And boy, oh boy, when I do that, it almost sets people back because they expect. You ever notice we live in a time where people expect to be fighting and upset and conflict and all kinds of things all the time? No, you're not supposed to do that. Why? Because when you finally part from whatever it is that you part, you're going to be thinking about that all day, all night. You're going to be distracted. And that other person or even that situation will just go on and not even give it a second thought. But you, my darlings, will be thinking about it and will recall it to your husband, to your wife, to your daughter, to your son, to your mother, to your... Right? You keep going over and over. You get on the phone. Hello, guess what happened to me today? You don't have time for that. You're too good for that. We don't have time for that. Right? Don't have time for that. It sharpens your spiritual discernment. Sometimes what gets us in troubles, my darlings, troubles, plural, is that we just have a hard time making a decision about what we should do. And sometimes that causes confusion. The number one thing that causes confusion, when you hear somebody say, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do, I'm so confused. Here's why. Confusion is you know what the right thing is to do, but you don't want to do it. That's confusion. So you try to think of other ways how to not do what the right thing is because it might be uncomfortable. It may be something that you don't want or your imagination has gotten the best of you and you think, hello, my darling Candy. I hope you got moved okay. So that's the other thing. It sharpens your spiritual discernment. It teaches you, hold on, I need a light. My goodness. A horse will go blind in a dark barn, and here I am trying to read. I'm not a horse, but hey. I've been called worse. Proverbs teaches you to spot the difference from wisdom and folly. Let me adjust this little fellow too, because he's a little bright. wisdom and folly. What is folly? Well, fibs, messing around, somebody that's not truthful, something that wants to mislead you, a game, truth, lies. In a world of confusion, you see, there we are with the confusion and deceit, especially in these end times, daily Proverbs is like spiritual eyesight training. It definitely is going to help you and keep you walking on the right side, knowing that, oh my heck, I need to take care of this, right? Confusion, nobody needs to be confused about what it is that they need to do. It builds generational wisdom. Now, what is everybody wants to say, oh, am I cursed? Oh, it must be a generational curse. No. Let's replace this generational curse junk with generational wisdom. What is generational wisdom? Well, when your kids, or when anyone else's kids, or when anyone else sees what you do and that you do the right thing. And I'm going to tell you, doing the right thing doesn't mean you have to be sitting back and taking a bunch of bull from people. It means that when you do the right thing, your kids, other people's kids, family, friends, see that you're doing the right thing and they want to do the same. That is a generational blessing and a wisdom. Solomon wrote Proverbs not only for himself as a reminder. Isn't that funny? You have to, hello? Solomon was the first note taker. Could you see him now? Okay. Mr. Solomon, who had 900 wives, can you imagine his child support? His alimony? Hello? Not only did he write it for himself, but as a father to a son, passing on the kind of wisdom that sustains a nation and a family. Listening daily shapes the way you speak into the lives of other people, especially children and young believers. It aligns you with God's order. Proverbs isn't just good advice. It's a blueprint. It's a structure. It is the reality of God who has designed it. Daily reading and listening, keep that in mind, helps you live in rhythm with his ways, leading to blessing, peace, stability, and even in unstable times. Remember, not long ago, I told you about that young lady who was a person who's on here who has her own channel. She's struggling. Today she reached out to me. She had a video. She put the little at Zelda Kelly, son, your little name, how you do that. You tagged. Hello, she tagged me. And that video, dang, I about cried twice. I mean, it was down. She was so down. And just 3 or 4 months ago, flying high like a kite, feeling good, doing well. That's the wheel of fortune. You got to prepare for those times that the wheel goes down so that when the wheel goes back up, you're going to be okay. And in this video, she just kept saying, why couldn't I have been born into a family that supports me? Why couldn't I have done this? Or why couldn't have this? I don't know. Why not? But why don't you change that? Only you can garner whatever change is going to come for you. Because sometimes, my darlings, as much as we may need a hero in our lives, sometimes the hero is us. And you have to figure it out. That's the way it is. But I felt so sorry for this girl, and I wrote to her and I said, look, I want to feel sorry for you. But if you continue posting these, I don't know, because people like drama on here. and they'll click, and you get the clicks when there's drama. And the idea is, if there is drama, then you can gain their attention. But just how much drama is good for you? Yes, you have to work through things, but how about changing, pardon me, how about changing, and I don't believe in the word luck, how about changing your destiny? Well, this is a way for you to do it. And I thought, what a good example. Now, she's okay. She's going to be okay. She's going to be just fine. But what a good example to think, do we want to sit around and think what we don't have when we should be sitting around and thinking of all the blessings that we do? So I'm going to give you some really interesting things about King Solomon. And then I'm going to tell you what I've done and what I'm doing for you. So you don't have to worry about any of this. You don't have to say, oh gosh, I don't have the book of Proverbs. I don't have that. How do I do it? Where do I start? I've taken all the guesswork out of that for you. Guesswork, not guesswork. I said guesswork. Hello. Well, you could be my guest. Let's talk about King Solomon, a pretty good dude. He was born around 990 to 970 BCE, something, and that was before Christ. 900. Grandpa, all right? Bible estimates, we can't find it out, and I was seriously digging into the manuscripts today. Diggy with all my little, I've got a Vine's dictionary, a Strong's Concordance, I've got the Greek, I've got the Chaldee, I've got the Old Testament. I was digging, and this is all I could find. He reigned as king of Israel from 970 through 931 BC, so approximately 40 years. And yes, time back then went backwards until you got to the 0, and then it went up again like it started after Christ was born, okay? So it sounds weird because the years are going backwards, but that's what it was. He succeeded his father, who was King David, you know, David and Goliath. And by the way, a little tidbit of information. We only hear in the book of Samuel and in Samuel 2 about David and Goliath and how David took out the giant. Bravo. Little 17-year-old David. You go, buddy. But you didn't hear that Goliath had brothers, and his brothers kept going on and tearing up things, being maniacs. And they went back and took them out too. Bravo, David. Bravo. Yeah, I do that because it's like, hello, hoorah. All right. He built the first temple in Jerusalem. It was completed in the year 957. He presided over what is considered Israel's golden age. Now, what is that? Bet you never heard of that before. That was the time of peace, prosperity, and expansion. So the golden age is where it all started coming together for him. And believe me, this was really, really something about no sister. Sorry, Sambo is here. So this was really something because it was a time for people to really be able to work on their wealth status. He passed away in the year 931, from what I gather, leading to the split of the United Kingdom. Now wait a minute. Hello. Look who's here. Look who wants to also partake with Solomon. Who's on my hair? Look at this. There we go. It's Queen Sammy. Just ask her. She'll tell you who she rules over. Me. Now, United Kingdom, do you mean the United Kingdom in Europe? No. The United Kingdom in Israel, which was North Israel, and Judah, which is south, they called that at that time the United Kingdom. And just a little tidbit for the historians. Philip had the daughters. One's name was Scota. When they scattered, she went to a different land, and the land is named after her, which is Scotland. Okay, here we are. Back to this. Sammy the chick. Solomon's wealth. I want to give you a modern day equivalent to biblical accounts of how much, because the Bible says he is the richest man in the world. He still is. Biblical accounts in 1 Kings 10 and in 2 Chronicles 9 say that Solomon received 666 talents of gold annually. Now, we're not going to get into that 666 thing because that is just a number. And 666 during the end times means the sixth seal, the sixth vial, and the sixth trump. It has nothing to do with this. Okay. So I'm going to give you, for you mathematicians out there, 1 talent of gold equals 75 pounds or 34 kilograms of gold. So all of these 666 talents equals 49,950 pounds of gold, 22,660. Listen, I had the calculator out today. At today's gold prices, as of today, price is going for $63,000 per kilogram. That is about $1.43 billion per year, just for 1 kilogram. And that's just for the gold. That doesn't take in all of the horses, the houses, the cattle, the land, the taxes, the asset that he was collecting, the trade that he was doing. Historians estimate that if you combine his gold, all his vast holdings and everything else, livestock, tributes, blah, 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 pardon me, including the famous Ophir expeditions, his net worth, are you ready? His net worth will exceed let's sing a song because I can't even think that high. His net worth could exceed more than 12, hold on to your little rice jars, $12 trillion per year. Not in a life, per year. $12 trillion. Hello. I guess he could afford all that child support and alimony, couldn't he? Okay. Now, here's what I've done for you and what I'm doing for you. As of 8 o'clock this evening, about 26 minutes from now, the first installment of the first chapter of the book of Proverbs will be published by me. There is a playlist, which is like a podcast, in the description of this video, and also there'll be a playlist in True Oracle, and I'm going to keep you floating for 31 days. I am reading, and it will be my voice narrating every chapter of the book of Proverbs. So you can start that tonight, number 1, or you can start tomorrow. However, it's your calendar, however you want to do it. Tomorrow morning, Chapter 2 will be released at 5 a.m. Eastern. The day after, Chapter 3, which will be Wednesday, will be released at 5 a.m. So on and so on. Pardon me? And so on. What was that? Do you remember that commercial? Who did that commercial back in the 70s? Remember? And so on and so on. Anyway, I think it was a hair commercial or something like that. Anyway, this way, my darlings, you can listen to this over and over. It doesn't expire. It doesn't anything like that. And what you're going to hear, excuse me, ma'am, you see these little things right here? They tickle the absolute tar out of me. And that's why I have to keep doing this, because she's a tickler. So I'm going to give you a little bit of tidbits about the book of Proverbs and what a lot of this mean, because a shampoo commercial, that's right. Thank you, Captain Jerry. Because I'm going to be reading the King James Version. Now, don't everybody get all, oh my gosh, I can't think of the these and thous. Yes, you can. Because the more you listen to it, it'll make sense to you. Because it's not all thee and thou, it's common sense. And it will make sense to you, but I'm going to explain a few little things. Because there's some Greek in here that's been translated. You see, back in 1610, the 1610 Bible that was translated by King James, and no, we're not going to get into King James, but he's the one who translated the King James Bible. And it was because he got sick and tired of the elites and the higher up being able to have a Bible, and the ones who were poor and didn't have, they would take the scraps of Bible and they didn't have anything. So he had, I'll tell you a good book if you guys are readers. Get the book that's called God's Secretaries, because it tells all about that, and it tells all about how he had all types of translators come in from all languages, Greek, Chaldee, you name it, Hebrew, come in. And sometimes, the manuscripts, sometimes, and there's a little blurb in the beginning of the 1610 Bible that says, we've done the best we can. It's going to be up to you and the Holy Spirit for your interpretation. And that's pretty much it. But what I can tell you enough is, I can give you a little bit of guidance so you don't get hosed up. Because sometimes listening to it, you can go, huh? Yes, the Aramaic, thank you very much, Mercury Star. Aramaic, Chaldee, Hebrew, Greek. There is, I believe, in the second chapter, talking about wisdom and understanding. You're going to know that right away when you hear it. And I wanted to share this with you because King Solomon refers to wisdom as her and she. Now, it isn't because wisdom is so feminine or any of that, but it's because a few things. He personifies wisdom as a woman for these reasons. In the Hebrew language factor, the Hebrew word for wisdom is Hakmah. Hakmah is the Hebrew word for that. It is grammatically feminine. And Hebrew, like many other languages, assigns gender to nouns. So that's why you're going to hear wisdom, her, so that way you'll know when you're listening. It's literally and poetically devised that way because in ancient Hebrew, poetry often personified abstract concepts, justice, folly, love, that sort of thing, as people so they could be relatable and more vivid. Okay? So that way you can relate to, oh, wisdom, she. So you're supposed to be more relatable in that way. A symbolic meaning in Proverbs, wisdom as she is portrayed as noble, beautiful, life-giving companion. Someone you should pursue, cherish, and remain faithful to, much like a loving relationship. So this is all about wisdom. She contrasts with the adulterous woman or folly, showing the choice between a path of life or a path of destruction. So there's all kinds of little hidden treasures in there, as in it's wisdom in stereo. It doesn't rhyme, but it rhymes in thoughts. So you'll see and you'll hear, because this is podcast only. I mean, I made some art today of a scroll. It's beautiful. You're going to be hearing gentle water in the background as I'm reading these. So, bottom line is, wisdom is older than the universe. Solomon collected wisdom from all over the world. And Proverbs 31 wasn't written by Solomon. Just so you know, the famous virtuous woman of the chapter, passage from King Lemuel. And tradition says it was taught to him by his mother. This means the most famous part of Proverbs, you know, wisdom, the virtuous woman, is essentially a mother's advice to her son about choosing a wife. So the number 7 also shows up a lot as you go through these Proverbs. Hebrew culture saw 7 as a number of completion. So just so you know that, Proverbs lists of 7, 6 things the Lord hates, right? 7th are detestable. So not only does he hate these 6 things, but there one more that makes 7, and boy, that's the one that completes the whole round. You're going to be hearing all these things to give a sense of fulfillment and totality. Now, Proverbs are not promises. They're not the promises of God. They are they're principles. They're principles that you can follow. They're principles that you can follow. Many think each proverb is a guaranteed outcome, which it is not. So I don't want you to think that. But they're more like laws of probability. And what else do we talk about here? How does this fit in? The laws of attraction. Did you see that? There are like 90 universal laws that come from Proverbs, the word, all these things. That's where this comes from. The law of attraction, the law of gravity. It's here whether we like it or not. Just like the laws of reciprocity, the law of attraction, the law of vibration, the law of physics, the laws of frequency, and now you have the laws of probability. What are the laws of probability? Well, if you follow the things that the advice and the wisdom that are given in the Proverbs, it is most probable that you're going to get along a lot better than if not. That's really how it works. That's how it works. Her is more than grammar. So when you hear her, she, all that, it's the feminine part of it, but consider wisdom and understanding a companion. Something, someone, a her that follows you, that gives you good advice. And see, you can relate with it much better that way than if not. Because I know in all of our busy schedules, and you know what? For me, I'm glad I'm reading it. I'm glad I'm putting it on, recording it, because it's going to be there forever and ever. Amen. So that means at the end of the chapter of 31, why not go back through again? Why not make that a daily thing? I read the Proverbs daily, but I'm also going to tell you a little something. Be careful, and I believe this is in the book of James, so I'm going to have to figure this out. I can't remember it right now. But I can tell you what it is, and I'm going to paraphrase it. Wisdom and understanding. Be careful what you wish for. And that's really what the word says. Be careful when you pray for wisdom and understanding. Why? Because you're going to get it. Yeah, but Zelda, I've prayed for wisdom and understanding, and everything just keeps turning to shikaka. Well, you know why? Because you're to recognize that it's turning to shikaka, and you're supposed to be making a change. That's why. And the reality of it is, if everything keeps going through, I'm just going to say it, through shikaka over and over and over again, first time, okay, life happens. Second time, third time, yeah, better go put a pencil to it and figure out what the hell you're doing. What the hell you're up to and what you need to change. Because until things change, the only thing, and this all ties in together, the only thing that can change, my darlings, is you. If circumstances, situations, situationships, and relationships are not changing, then you got to change it. How do you change it? Well, you don't put up with it. How do you not put up with it? Well, you don't get sucked into the drama, to the toxicity. You know, there are levels to toxicity. You don't get sucked in, because I'm going to tell you something. What happens when you don't change things, and I'm going to give you a little hint about change. When you don't change things, it's going to keep looping over and over and over again. I'm going to tell you a story about me. After I got divorced from the lieutenant commander, it's like I lost my mind. It's like I didn't know what on earth I was doing, where I was going, what I needed. I was influenced by people, family, friends I didn't know. And I started getting involved with these people, men that I shouldn't have been involved with, mainly alcoholics. And I don't know why I was attracting the alcoholics. But every time it was just an ordeal, until finally I woke up one day and said, it's not their fault. That's who they are. It's my fault for accepting it because it's not right for me. And that moment, it changed. It changed. That moment. There's nothing wrong with taking a drink or two. I can't handle it. I'd probably be drinking. But I can't deal with it. Yes, Sammy, I know. But the point of the matter is, anything you've got going on in your life, my darlings, change is most important. The book of Proverbs, all of this wisdom and understanding, when you're warned, when you ask for wisdom and understanding, be prepared. You're going to get it. And if you don't like it and you don't listen, you're still going to have to go through that hamster loop until you learn the lesson. And part of the lesson is the more you have to go through the hamster loop, the more painful it will become. Why? Well, sometimes we don't learn lessons when it's easy. Sometimes. So the more painful it becomes, the more jolting it becomes, and like whatever, right? Hello. So that's the way you can get rid of some of the shiitake. And you have to go through that. But I'm going to say this. You're going to love this part, and I invite you to try it. When you start learning things in the book, in these books of Proverbs, when you start listening, and I invite you, the first one that comes out in 10 minutes, 10 minutes it comes out. The first one that you listen to, I invite you to let it absorb and go back and listen again. It's 2 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes. You have 2.5 minutes. Go back and listen again and let this start, soak it up like a sponge. Because I'm going to say this, in order to receive the change that you've been wanting, you, my darlings, have to change. Well, what happens when you change? It is a law of the universe that when you change, things around you must change. What does that mean? They're going to see the change or feel the frequency and the change within you to the point where they're either not going to like it anymore and they're going to fall away, which if they do, that's okay, because they're probably dragging you down to begin with and they weren't bringing anything to the table. Number two, the change will most likely help you wake up, and instead of being in a place of judgment, be in a place of discernment. So you can say, look, oh my goodness, this job isn't good for me. I go there every day and I feel like I want to just go home and on Friday, put my head in the sand. And on Monday morning, I think, oh my gosh, I can't enjoy my weekends because Sundays are a dread. That's what happens. Pardon me. I have to have a tinky. Pardon me. Tinky sissy? No. So when you change, things around you will change. Believe me, it happens. People will see, and it's not like going crazy. I'm changing. Oh my God. No, my darlings. From listening to this, you will handle things in a much more stoic fashion. And for you ladies out there, there's nothing better than stoicism. There's nothing better than sitting back and handling things like, hello, not only do you sit on the throne, you own it. And that's what it's supposed to be. And it's not because, well, you're supposed to be that so-and-so on wheels, and you're not supposed to be, what do they say, those, hello, sissy, you need to get down. She's sticking to my lipstick. Oh my goodness. It's not, you're not going to be one of these nasty girls. This is for women. Men, nothing more hunky than a stoic man. I've got to tell you this. As my grandmother says, you could be as ugly as a mud fence. But if you've got a brain and you handle yourself right, and you've got wisdom, understanding, character, and integrity, and you handle yourself as a professor of life, the women will be flocking over you. Ladies, if you handle yourself as a feminine woman who doesn't take shikaka from anyone, meaning walk away, love yourself enough to know that you don't deserve it. If you are independent, confident, not needy, not desperate, and is certainly not dangerous for a relationship, knowing that you love yourself first and you don't need anyone, you want them. You don't need anyone, you want them. That's a big difference. You need to take needy out of the equation. Then things, and pardon me, someone just said, I always forget this. Zelda, hello. I got to put the grifter stuff up. You know how that is. Okay, wait a minute. Hello, where is it? Okay, this is True Oracle's QR code. If you want to leave a little tip, thank you so much. It certainly helps the channel. Not required. There we are. So anyway, my darlings, you're going to love this and you're going to feel a difference in your life. You're going to feel it so much so that people are going to say, what are you doing? What are you doing? You seem so different. You're not crying around all the time. You don't seem so confused. You don't seem so needy. You don't seem so desperate. We all fall into hard times. I almost said fart. Did you hear that? Sorry. We all fall into some hard times. But that doesn't mean you have to dwell. I'm going to share a little something about a dwell. Do you know that biblically the word dwell came from dwelling? That's where you live. If emotionally and psychically, mentally, physically, you feel like you are dwelling on a particular situation, circumstance, then you're living there. Huh. Who wants to live in that? Who wants to live in that drama? I don't see anybody here raising their hand. Not that I can, but I know that none of you are raising your hand and going, oh yes, me, count on me first. Zelda, I want to live in dwelling. No, you don't. You don't want to dwell on things constantly. My life changed overnight when I went from this not knowing which way to turn, feeling just paranoid, upset, desperate, feeling like I was unloved, feeling all these different situations because I couldn't keep it together, couldn't keep a relationship, couldn't keep a job, couldn't keep, because quite frankly, I've always been a psychic. Hello. Not always have I been able to make a living at it. Just now. And my darlings, well, not just now, but I'm saying this last few years of my life. But my darlings, the moment I heard, whoops, pardon me, that was the ring. The moment that I heard that reading the book of Proverbs was going to help, I'm like, give me the book, give me the book. I need as much as I can. I need the help. And then it started sinking in. I kept thinking, I've been doing everything opposite of everything that it's been telling me as a person standing outside my window. Everything it's been telling me, I'm doing the opposite. What is wrong with me? And I set out to make change. And you can too. And sometimes you don't even have to set out to make change. Most of you won't have to. So I see a great question that I'm going to, Christian Marie, hello, my darling, is accepting. It is accepting what you can't control and surrendering to the universe. To a point, yes. To a point, yes. But it doesn't mean that you can accept that your life is in a mess and that you're just going to hand it to the universe and wait for the universe to move some things around for you to walk away from it. It means that, okay, God, universe, things are happening right now. I don't have control. However, I'm going to do the best thing that I can to clean it up on my end. And I'm counting on you to handle the big stuff. Because listen, I can't tell you how many times I've heard pastors get up in front of the pulpit, as they say in the South, and they get up at this one church that I taught at. I am not a preacher. I am not a reverend. There's only one reverence. But I can't tell you how many times I've got, oh, I had the favor of the Lord today. Oh, here we go. Let me listen to this. And I hate to be that way, but when you start figuring out that God wants us to use this stuff up here, this gray matter, the stuff that he gave us to think, called the brain. Oh, I just got a report, and I just got to tell y'all, God found favor on me today. Really? Let's hear. Yes, I went out to Walmart, and the place was packed. I went out there and I drove around, and just as I was driving around up to the front, somebody pulled out, and I pulled right in, and I knew that was the favor of God. Or it could have just been that you knew that you had common sense if you drove around the parking lot enough that somebody was going to pull out and you could pull in. Bravo for that. And yeah, we'll just give God the kudos because he deserves it anyway. You got to make sure that you take control over things and you can say, okay, I need help. Take my life, do something with it. I'm done. Now, I have the tools. I will work on things my end, and you guide and direct me on your end where you want me to go. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you're sitting back and you think that you're going to wait for, and this is laws of attraction. This is laws of attraction. If you sit back and you think that God is just going to miraculously move everybody around like a chess piece and part the way for you like the Red Sea so you can emerge unscathed, sorry. Whatever you have done before that you have to make recompense for, you will have to do. But that means from that moment on, things will change. Things will change. And you know what? You're going to see, study to show thyself approved. Study, study, study. Study means study. It doesn't mean, oh, I'm going to read about 4 lines. Yeah, I did it. Okay. No. He wants you to dig in. Seek and you shall find. That's the idea. You're here today because you've been seeking solutions. You've been seeking answers. You've been seeking things that'll help you. And this book of Proverbs, I'm not going to sound, but no, I am going to tell the truth here. And it does sound like it's whatever, but I'm going to tell it. I know women who have been down, dirty, broke, upset, in bad situations, on the edge of eviction, repossessions, divorces, plural, all kinds of different things. And the moment that they start reading the Proverbs, about the 3rd and 4th chapters, things start turning around for them. And all of a sudden, this thirst for knowledge, they need to know more. And they start listening, and they start reading, and they start listening. I know 2 women right now who are wealthy, went rags to riches wealthy by just implementing the wisdom and understanding in the book of Proverbs. Now, can that happen for you? Absolutely, yes, it can. And that's why I recorded it for you, because I don't want you to have anything stop you. Because some of you may say to me, well, gee, I don't maybe even have a Bible. Do I have to look it up? What do I look up? Is there something wrong? No. You don't have to worry about it. Don't have to worry about it now. No. In fact, hold your little horsies, my darlings, because I'm going to give you an example of what you are about to hear. How's that? And yes, it has dropped. Amen to this. All right, so let me take a look. Hold on. And I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'm just going to give you an example. It is 4 minutes. The first chapter is 4 minutes and 28 seconds. We can all carve out 4 minutes and 28 seconds in our life. Okay, so hold on, Zelda. Stop, Zelda. Calm down. All right. So now I'm going to put this up on the screen, and I'm going to give you this. Did you just get the notification? Good job. Good. I did something right today. Hello. Okay, so, wait a minute. Kristen's got what about implanting beliefs in your subconscious mind? Absolutely. So if you want to listen to this before you go to sleep at night, it's going to help you, because it's written purely from the Word. Amen. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to share this. This is what you're going to be hearing. Okay? Oh, and hold on. Okay. Anne is, give me a second here. Wait a minute. Just caught your live. We are in the process of preparing for an evacuation due to a forest fire that started today. Oh my goodness, darling. You be safe. Keep us posted. Let us know how you are. Prayers going out to yours and you and everything. Okay? We're going to cover you with good thoughts and prayer. So, okay, here we go. Now we're going to share this. Now, this is an example, and yes, it does sound a little on the boring side. Hello, but let me figure this out a second. There we are. And this is it. This is what you're going to hear. Now, that's what it's going to look like, and I'm going to be real quiet so you can hear it. You may want to turn your little systems up, okay? So this is an example. I'm not going to play the whole thing. Here we go.
Welcome to the reading of the book of Proverbs. Listen to one chapter every day for the next 31 days. This will be life-changing for you, as these are the instructions of King Solomon. You may want to listen to these chapters over and over again. There are no rules. Soak in the teachings and the wisdom of this book. May prosperity in all things be a blessing to you according to his will. I am Lady Zelda Kelly with True Oracle. Let us begin with chapter 1 of the book of Proverbs. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion.
Okay, so there you go, my darlings. That's how it sounds. That's what you're going to be hearing. That's what it's all about. And it's the first chapter is 4 minutes 4 minutes, 28 seconds. The second chapter is 2 minutes, 28 seconds. And the third chapter so far is 4 minutes. I would play this as often as you can. I mean, you could play it as you're driving. You could treat it as an audiobook, because even though I put a visual up there of that scroll, that's supposed to be Jerusalem with the scroll and all this other. Yes, it's right here on this channel, Groovy. It's right here on this one. So set your notifications. I want to also show you something here. Hold on. Let me do something else. I can't do that. Hold on. I can't do it with this channel. Okay. So this is what I want to tell you. All right. How you set your notifications, because I've had a lot of people tell me today, oh no, we're missing stuff. Oh no. This is how you set it. You see that subscribe button right there? It's got a little arrow that goes down. You click on the subscribe button and you're going to see this menu come up. And the menu it'll say all, personalized, and then it goes down. I think there's like 4 things. You want to click on the all notifications. So that way you'll get all notifications. Because if you click on personalize, where are you going to personalize them? It's too hard to personalize your notifications. All, some, yes, no, maybe, sort of, kinda. So just do all and know that they'll all come out for you. And I'm going to keep working on them. And I should have at least 2 weeks worth in the next day or two here. And we're going to do 31 days. And they'll be there. And I suggest listening. And there's no rules. So if you like one chapter better than another, well, go back and listen to that one chapter. It's not going to hurt. It's only going to help. So that's it. Way to go, Kristen. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So, my darlings, is this something that you think you'd like to have? I got to tell you this. I've seen, and I've been seeing, because y'all know I study this sort of thing, things about the end times, things about rapture, things about all this other, and some very misleading information. I want you to, this is Sammy, this is Sam Miami, that's right. Please do me a favor. If you want me to teach the truth, how it is written, how it's supposed to be written, how it is supposed to be taught, the truth, not some fabrication of somebody coming out here and thinking sort of kind of because, well, they read something somewhere and there's a spaceship getting ready to drop from. Stop. Do you want me to teach on, I'm going to say it, the Antichrist? When it comes, what to look for, the signs, the truth about who is coming, when, and how? Please put a number 1 in the chat, because I'm going to tell you. I will teach it the best way that I can. And I will teach you the truth the best way I know. And I will tell you this, my darlings. It will not be misleading, and you will go away from this and you will think, you mean to tell me this whole time I've been lied to? Because you know what? It makes me mad. It makes me mad to see that people lie. This thing right here, if you see me, I'm tearing up. It's not, well, I could. I'm about ready to sneeze because this, look at her. She's sitting here smug. She knows. She knows what's up. And I want you to know that I have to, you see Poe back here. Well, there is no wackadoodle Scientology. There is no, it's Christianity. It is the truth coming from the word written from the scripture. No wackadoodle stuff. No nothing. No lies. No folly. Truth, wisdom, understanding in a way that you'll understand it. You will leave here angry because you've been taught wrong. And it's okay to be angry when you've been taught the word wrong. Okay? Because the one thing that we are not supposed to do is repeat shikak. This thing right here, you see Poe back here, right? I don't know if you, one day I'll tell you how to tell a raven from a crow. This is a raven. Ravens have different, they cluck. A raven will go cluck, cluck, cluck. And the crow is ah, ah. Yes, nature, back to Nature Channel. Hello. And this here, you know, I've got my little Poe statue, my little raven statue. Pardon me. She hates that thing so bad. She hates it to the point where she attacks it. It's now missing a toe. I've had to put him through, look at her, sitting here like she innocent as all can be. Sitting here, and she will literally sit here for hours staring it down and then all of a sudden pounce. And it's just a little statue thing. She has broken its leg 4 times. The poor thing is glued together, and I used to keep him on my desks, you know, ambiance, hello. But I have to keep him over on another shelf because this baby hates him. Oh my God, isn't that not funny? Anyway, because when the time comes, and the time will come, if we're all here still above ground, I want you all to understand the truth because the truth will set you free. And we've been all lied to. We've been all lied to. And you know, when you hear the truth, you're going to be like, oh heck. Oh heck. What is going on? And I'm going to tell you why you're being lied to. Are you ready? Are you ready? Because when you scare people, you control the masses. And the moment that you scare people and you control the masses, they'll keep contributing to you because they think that that will help get them to where they want to be. Oh, that's what makes me mad. That's what makes me mad. Because I will tell you that in the book of Revelation, there's 2 things. That's why those who have taught the word, preach, will go through judgment first because they have been teaching us all wrong. That's number 1. Number 2, we are not to add or subtract from the word. And there's many places, and listen, I get it. There's many places in the Bible where some words have been tweaked just a little bit. And of course, the premise of people understanding it, no, they've misled you. They're misleading you. People think they just buy a Bible. Oh, good, I've got a Bible. No, there are translators and there are people who work at these Bible printers and publishers that twist. Do you know there are more atheists that work at publishing companies for Bibles. That, why? Why? So that, we'll do it. We'll do it. I will teach you. I will share with you, and I will give you enough to just be able to say, okay, there you go. Go on your way, my darlings, and look up more. If we need to go back and look, we will do it. Because I will be glad to teach you what I know, what I've been taught. And this, my darling, is my degree. Theology, not Scientology, not religion, not any of this, because it is our lives. It is a lifestyle. And I'll tell you what, when I really started getting into the laws of attraction, the biblical connotation of bringing it together is uncanny until one day, hello, I put it together. Well, where do we think this comes from? Where do we think the law of attraction comes from? The Word. And in all things, it gives us hints all throughout the Bible. I am going to tell you a little thing and then we can go, but I am going to tell you a little thing about, I believe it's in the book of Matthew, where Jesus says, in my house there are many mansions. And you're going to see these gurus get on TV and all the mansions. Oh boy, we're going to be assigned a mansion on Golden Street, and we're going to be that. I'm going to have my mansion. Mansion in the Greek is a word called manos. It's a place of rest. Mansion has nothing to do with it. It is a place of rest. Now, doesn't that make sense? In my house, there are many mansions. There are many places to rest. Hello. That makes me feel good, because I can tell you what, after being here for, how old am I now? 150 years, I'm going to need a little rest by the time I get up there. And I don't care about a mansion, because the first thing I'm thinking of is who's going to clean it. I'm joking. I want you to, that's how stuff gets mistranslated to the point where you are misled. And I will tell you this. I'm going to give you a little teaser. You ain't going to fly away. You're not going to go away and have to worry about your kids or anybody else being left behind, because I'm going to explain all that, where that came from, the false doctrine that it came from, because it didn't come from the Word, and how you process it. I'm going to give you not only the keys to the kingdom, so to speak, I'll give you the biblical references that go along with it. How do you like that? So when we get there, get your Bibles. If you don't have a Bible, go to BibleGateway.com and you can pull up whatever book, verse, chapter, whatever it is. I'll make sure that I've got things on that I can put on the screen so you can see for yourself. And then it's called righteous anger. Then when you see these people who want to pump you full of fear, which, give them to me. I'm going to tell you something. Give me any pastor there is who's teaching this stuff, and he will leave dumbfounded. I don't care. I'm going to tell you this. A few years ago in the great state of Tennessee, I volunteered to teach, because one of the pastors of these churches something happened. His wife was ill, something. And so there wasn't anybody there for Sunday. And I said, well, I'll teach. I taught on Daniel and the lion's den. Wouldn't you love to hear that? Now, that is a story, and a true story. And Copernicus. Daniel and the lion's den. When I announced that I was coming, the place was packed. They were riveted. They were taking notes. I was giving them the receipts. I was telling them everything the way that God designed it and more. It took me 2 Sundays to teach that. And then they wanted to know about the rapture. Now, this is a Baptist church. Hello, help us all. I don't have anything wrong. I do not. I love everybody. I don't have any problem with any churches, any belief. I just have a problem with people who do not want to use their noodle and pump people full of fear and wrong doctrine. That is dangerous, and it makes me mad. Because you should never have to be afraid. Never. There's nothing. So, thank you, sis. I've got to sneeze so bad, and I keep holding it back. Pardon me. So, the moral of the story is, I was just getting ready to teach this whole thing about not flying away, because you won't be flying away. And I'm going to tell you why. Christ is supposed to come here to earth. He will be reigning here on earth. But people have it in their brain they're going to be flying away. Well, how does that make sense? You're going to be, hello, wait. Oh, we're supposed to meet him in the air. No, wait, no. Stop. This was the same pastor, Easter morning, and I have to do this, right? Seriously, who is about 5'2", who Easter morning, Ishtar morning, was standing in the cemetery for a sunrise service. And there was somebody in this chat that I was talking to on the phone that morning, a few years ago. If you know, you know. And I had to leave. I had to go to the bathroom because he was standing there, and the sun's coming up. It was beautiful. And me, I'm standing in the middle of a cemetery. God, I wonder if I turn my recorder on, if I'm going to. If you know, you know. He stands there and says, and he does a fake Southern accent. Now, why, I don't know. I don't like it, but he says that it helps the tourists. So he was standing there saying, I was just standing here. And wouldn't it be wonderful if these graves just opened up right now and we just all went to heaven? Now, this cemetery graveyard is so old that I'm just going to say some of these people were not processed like they were in modern days. Some of these graves were back in the 17 and 1800s. So, it's pretty much throw them in a box and say goodbye. And the first thing that came to my mind is, what kind of B horror movie are you wishing on these little children that are here? Can you imagine? Talk about Night of the Living Dead. Oh, yeah. That's God in his glory. And I'm sitting there going, so that was before he went. And then, anyway, okay. So now I'm teaching. Everybody's there, riveted to their seats. They have never had such attendance. The parking lots were full. We had people from other churches coming in. Not because of me, it's because they were finally fed the real truth and the world word. So I'm up there teaching, and all of a sudden I see him in the back, and he's going, and I'm sitting there and thinking, whatever. And these people, you could see the relief on their faces from hearing the true word. That's what it's supposed to be. This little thing, I always told him he was like a little candy bar. Remember, he's 5'1" or 2. So I always told him he was like a little, I'm 5'10". So we never stood side by side. I always told him that he reminded me of those little candy bars that were fun-sized. And I only went there because one of my friends went there, and I went because of her, because the attendance was failing. There was only 5 or 6 people showing up. He comes back, the whole place is full, they're waiting outside. And again, it wasn't because of me. So he's standing in the back going. Finally, I said, I had to get it out. And I said, finally, and I want to announce today that you can be relieved. You are not going to leave your family, your friends. You are not flying away, because whatever will happen at the same time. And that's why it says that we will be changed in the twinkling of an eye. You won't have time to think about it. Hello. He raced up to the pulpit, as he said. He raced up to the pulpit and said, "Get off! Blasphemy! Demon! Witch! Child of the devil!" Oh, it was dramatic. And I mean, I'm standing there, I'm turning around thinking, is he talking to me? And it's because he saw he lost control. He lost control because, first of all, he wasn't willing to put the work in to figure out how to teach. And he thought that if he could keep them scared, and by the way, nothing wrong with this, but he got his degree from Kenneth Copeland online school. And since he got a degree, they automatically gave his wife one too. And do you remember when I said in the book of Revelation, it says you should not change the word. You can't change the meaning. You can't change it. If you look at one of those Bibles, the whole thing has been rewritten. There's notes and everything. What is that? So the bottom line is, I've always had this thing for taking an adverse thought process of what happens when you teach something wrong. Because the next Sunday, nobody showed up. And they kept asking him what I was teaching. Now, at that point, I was telling you, I was actually actively looking for a place. And then my life led in another direction, and I knew. But now, I mean, hey. But yeah, Mitchell, horror. Yeah, that is literally horror movie stuff. I just wish these graves would open up right now. We'd all just go up. What? Hello. And that's the danger. That's danger. And I see it all over this platform, other platforms. And now there's this thing about this UFO alien ship. The alien ship that was supposed to be in here in the November. It's supposed to be 12 miles long. They're only speaking to one professor in Harvard. And he's saying that he thinks they're hostile. And there's other hostile beings behind. Now he says they're only going to take 2 weeks to get here instead of November. Well, what happened? Are they not just stopping off to get gas somewhere? So you see, there's always this fear-mongering stuff. There's always, and I'm going to tell you, I told my son this. I got to tell you all this. I need to have, where's our sweethearts, Boston Bay and DJ? I wish they were listening. If you're listening out there, my darlings, I need you. I'll give you a link. You can come on. Because remember, I asked that when Calling All Beings was coming on, and DJ said, and DJ will know. Because I know he would know. That's right, Zenjan. God did not give us a spirit of fear. No room for it. We can be concerned. So, I gotta tell you, I told my son this. Here comes the conspiracy theories. Look out now. Here it comes. Brace yourself, everyone. I was telling my son that, because listen, I go to bed at night and my brain is thinking, what if this? What if that? And I don't think about the Harlequin romance stuff. I think of, what if this? What if that? And I was watching, because I've been watching for our boozy beauty. I don't know where she went. I haven't seen her in a little bit because she's usually on the talkie tick. So I was on the talkie tick scrolling through, looking at the dance, all this stuff, thinking maybe I should just dance. And all of a sudden I come across this woman. Now she says she used to be a tarot reader. And she said that God visited her. Maybe. I'm not saying he didn't. Maybe. He said that God visited her. Somebody visited her. Don't know. Angelic being, perhaps, maybe, sorta. And said that it was demonic and satanic and satanic. Satanic. That reminds me of something. Anyway, satanic. But there's this woman, and I'm watching her. Now, listen, I'm not making fun of her. I'm going to describe to you what she looks like. So she's on the talkie tick, and she goes through this, now she's this prophetess. She gets millions of views. And her, yeah, that's right. Get the popcorn out, darlings. Here we go. She had this low-cut thing on. You could tell she was dressed. She had something around her, a robe or something. And she had washed her hair or something, and I'm going to sneeze from that cat. Pardon me. I'm so sorry. I didn't have time to, I'm so sorry. For those of you who can't hear that, didn't have time to click. So, gather myself. Thank you so much. I'm not kidding. Some of this stuff scares me and I'm fearless. You know what I mean? You just kind of think. So she's got her hair up. She's got a towel. Thank you, my darlings. I love you. She's got a towel up. She's got, all this. I know sometimes people are born different, but this is different. Her neck starts right here and goes out this way. Just like my hair. See my hair? That's her neck. Yeah, we don't mess with Ouija boards around here. Thank you. But that's her neck. Imagine that. This is my hair. And this is her, this isn't her neck, but her neck, this is her neck. Nyeh. It starts from like here and goes this way. Oh yeah, hello. And she's getting real close. You know how I get real close to the camera? I get really intense. Yeah, Zelda, tell us all about it. And she's blinking, and all of a sudden, and I see these stuff because I watch, and she's live. And my son said, "Mom, maybe it's AI." I said, "No, listen, I know AI. I know an AI when I see it. This ain't an AI. This ain't AI." She's sitting there, she's blinking. All of a sudden, she doesn't blink this way, she blinks this way. And I gasped. I did. I went, and I'm in there by myself. It was not for anyone. I mean, the kiddies are in there, but I'm thinking, dear jumping jollies, what are we looking at? No kidding. Blink this way and not this way. And she's talking about, oh yeah, I told you there's an alien ship. And I'm sitting there going, I'm telling you, sister, you're probably going to just jump right back on it and get back a ride back home wherever you came from. Oh, did the screen just go weird? Okay, I'm going to tell you again. I'm going to tell you again what it was. If the screen, this is bizarre. So, okay, so there she is. I described her. She blinked this way. I mean, she was blinking this way, like I'm blinking, like we all. They're here. Do not show me that sign movie. No birthday parties. I can't handle that movie. Signs. Mel Gibson, I could handle. I got to tell you something else about Mel Gibson you don't like. This chick blinks this way. I gasped. Sammy's in there with me because she always perches herself. It's no wonder I can't breathe. That thing, I always call her that thing, but my baby, she will perch herself right up here. Hello. It's no wonder I can't breathe at night. Like a reptile. Like a reptile. Tell me if y'all ever start seeing me do that. Hello. She was live and did that. Yeah. And I went, oh, like this. Okay, Kaylee. And it's just like, and I'm serious. I went, oh. And somebody else saw it. They wrote in there, because I don't write in there because, everybody's like, oh, somebody wrote and said, did you see that? And somebody else is like, yeah. And she's like, I told you. They're coming down here. And she's all real, I told you, they're coming down here. And these are demons. And I'm holding my phone going, yeah, chick, they're probably down here. You're probably coming to get your ride back home, because I've not seen that happen. If I have, it ain't been for a long time. Hello. Well, there's the Goodmans. Hi, my darlings. We went from the book of Proverbs to now we're talking about someone who was blinking this way and now blinked this way. We got over that real fast. But welcome, my darlings. Thanks for being here. So it's like, oh. I told my son, because I kind of go through this thing because everybody has their theories about aliens. Okay? I want you to know that aliens were in the Bible. If you look in the book of Ezekiel in chapter 1, he talks about this amber color bronze. And he talks about, oh yeah, we'll read through that one day. But I like Ancient Alien Show too. And listen, those beyond Renaissance paintings of the religious paintings where you see Mother Mary and child and you see this little UFO craft back in here, there's more than to meets the eye. But that right there, I was not expecting it. So I'm telling my son, because my son, he believes that, and I've always kind of been, because I don't want to. I don't want to. War of the Worlds. Every now and then he's got this machine thing on his, they play these games and everything, and it makes that sound that those things made from War of the Worlds. And I'm like, oh, no birthday parties for Zell, no War of the Worlds. So this chick who's, the neck, and I've seen things floating around. Hello, in Tennessee, I certainly have. But this chick, the neck, the whole thing, basically is talking all this alien stuff. And I'm thinking, oh, well, I can pretty much guess what family you belong to. But that threw me. I was not expecting that. And you see just about anything on TikTok. There's it's so funny. They have these rules and yet they don't have these rules. So it's like anything goes, but I don't know. Sylvia's got a good question. I'm going to answer it. Does your son have any of your gifts? Yes. Oops, sorry. And I was a friend who saw, oh, look at Puppy, Wallflower. Sylvia's daughter, yes, he does. But he's never been able to, he's never wanted to hone them. He's got a wonderful gut instinct and wonderful premonition. Sometimes, and it's rare, but sometimes he'll come out and he'll say, Mom, I know this and this and this. And I make sure that I listen. He has, what's it called? I can't even think I'll think of it. Sleep terror. He has sleep terror. Sometimes I hear him and I have to go in there and make sure that, I have to make sure. But yeah, he does. He does. He saw when his father passed away when he was 4, his father came in and visited him in the room. It was like it was just sleep paralysis. Thank you so much. And yeah, pardon me. So anyway, we went from the biblical side of life over here. Now, I want to tell you this. I give stories. I do other things for some other channels. I will contribute. I do an art thing for several other channels. I have to schedule the vampire podcast to come up. I will let you know about that. But since the show last night with attorney Melanie, who I love, by the way, that was so much fun. We're going to do it again. And like I said, I'm going to try to get microdots. Richie. Now, since last night, I bet I have 10 emails from people writing, I don't even know. I had this something happen to me. And I had this something happen to me. And I have it. What do you think? I have this haunting. Sending me pictures. Hello. So I'm wondering, I might do it on this channel, and I'll tell you why, because I don't want to do two. I've got mine to set up, and that would hose, pardon me, it will hose the algorithm for me. But I want to still do the readings over here, but if we need to talk about this sort of thing, like the book of Proverbs and all this other, and do some teaching, and then also have some paranormal, I think I need to do that too here. So I want to invite you, because what I might do, and you can tell me, okay? If you can tell me, if you email me your stories, I will ask the people that run, it's called Conjuring the Unseen. You may recognize a story on there or two that I have told. But the channel is called Conjuring the Unseen. If you have a story and they want to do it, just say, look, I've got a story, and they can put it on their channel. If you will do that, and if you have any real pictures, then okay. I know Kylie, bless your heart. Kylie's blowing up, good girl. But you got to give permission. You got to give permission. So there. I think the aliens have been here before. They've talked to our presidents. That kind of thing scares a lot of people. I mean, you're going to have the good, you're going to have the bad, and everything. But I don't believe in fear mongering. I don't believe in spreading fear. That's, to me, what it's all about. Let me turn this lamp off. There we go. See the difference when I turn the lamp off? I do not believe in fear. Sylvia's daughter. Okay, my darling. I think I already asked you, so sorry to repeat. No worries. How can you tell if someone is a vampire? They don't brag about it. They don't. That's number one. They don't brag about it. They're kind of hermits. There are different types. The types that I have met are not the thirsty type, if you know what I mean. They hunger and thirst for knowledge. They have, yeah, and if you send me these, because people are asking me what to do, and I'm thinking, why don't I just do a little thing? It says, I got an email from such and such, and this is what they're having, and these are the pictures, and she's wanting to know what to do. Should we do that? Should we do that? I think we should. I just need your permission. Okay, so back to the vampire. They don't like to be called vampires. They know the difference between a wannabe, and they stay away from them. Their skin is different. The skin is it's almost an ashy color gray. They're not like Edward from Twilight. They can go out into they don't glow and twinkle and all that. They travel, but they have a home base. You're going to hear a lot of things when I have this okay, so it's seeing crime at gmail.com. Okay. And if I can use it, I'll use it. If I can't, I can't. But I can't answer everybody. But we'll see what we're going to do, and we just might even do this. Is it like the movies where you have to invite them in? Yes, it is. Yeah, there's only one Edward. I was a Jasper fan. Hello, you all can have Edward. I kind of favored Jasper, and I'll go out and play baseball with them all day. Hello. Pardon me. Yes, there is a big Bill from True Blood. Hello. Yes, Bill. Bill, I love you so, I always will. So if you want me to do that, I know we're going from one extreme to the other. This poor algorithm and poor Mrs. Marie, she's probably going to look at me and go, Zelda, do you have too much time on your hands? What are we doing? But we're going from teaching the flyaway to let's talk about the paranormal. I think we just need to be well-rounded, don't you? We can just sit here and talk. Jasper, the Civil War soldier, is spooky. Yeah, he's kind of got that deer in the headlight look. But they are how do I want to say it? Their skin is tight. And I got to tell you this, most of them are handsome. Good. I have never seen the kind that I want. When I was at Cafe Du Monde in New Orleans and met Anne Rice, I was with someone else, but I met Anne Rice, and then I met this person that she fashioned. Now, this has been years ago. Hello. And she fashioned Interview with a Vampire and Lestat. Oh my. The one walks up to the table. They don't eat and drink in front of you. They do eat and drink, but they don't eat and drink in front of you. The ones that I know, I know 3. The one that I know that I have the most conversations with, he, like I said, the thirst is for knowledge, but what they do is they tune it all out about once a month. It's like he goes dark in a dark room 3 or 4 days. There's no cell phone, there's no nothing, and I'm going to tell you this, most of them have horses. They don't have BMWs and Volvos like Edwards. Hello. They have horses. And sometimes the horses have come through the ages with them. I know one that has happened to. All right, well, let's just calm down in the chat, because one thing I don't want to do is get the algorithm going crazy, if we don't mind, okay? So let's just calm down and go from there. But most of them like horses. Most of them live in family castles that they've had in their family. The one that I'm going to have the podcast with he was locked away in the castle because his hair was red. One of you handsome. His hair is red. And I made some art for them, but the art is based off what I was shown and told. So, yeah. So there's a lot. I'm going to tell you something about Mel Gibson, and then we'll go, because we've been on here for 2 hours, and I've been talking and I've got. I know you all have things to do, and I do too. Mrs. Marie's probably going, "What are you doing, Zelda? Stop." Okay. Yeah, Erica's handsome. Mel Gibson said when he first met Are you ready? Oh, now his name just slipped me. Hold, wait a minute. Oh, Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken scared Mel Gibson, the Patriot. Every time I see him on X, I always tell him he's the best. Oh, hello. Give me that Patriot movie any day, and I'll tell him he's my favorite Patriot. He said that when he met Christopher Walken, that it scared him so bad because Christopher Walken floats. I think Christopher Walken is scary. I believe, yes, we all need more cowbell. I believe Christopher Walken knows a lot more about Natalie Wood than he ever wanted to tell. And Natalie Wood, oh yeah, and Mel Gibson, hello. He knows this. And I love Mel. And there's another Passion of the Christ coming out too. And he was in some monastery somewhere, and he was it was just a beautiful scene. But it's like, whoa. He said it frightened him because they are in Hollywood. He was there with Natalie Wood. Although I don't think that he did anything, I kind of feel that somebody else does. But Walker knows. Walker knows. So anyway, yeah, can you? I believe that, and I'm going to tell you this. You know how I do all the little impressions and voices and everything. My son does a Christopher Walken that you guys would just laugh your heads about. Sounds just like Christopher Walken. Hello. My son and I are all about, we are in the entertainment field, believe me. Hello. Jim Caviezel, there. Oh, I love Jim Caviezel. He was shunned from Hollywood because of his belief and doing the Passion of the Christ. Hello. What's Hollywood? Hollywood isn't like it used to be. Give me Hollywood in the 1940s and 50s. Hello. I would have been there. Yeah, I like redheads. I like redheads. I'm going to tell you a little story. The first love of my life, and you never know, he may even be my last, was red-haired. Had this flaming red hair and just as adorable as could be. I thought I would grow up and marry him one day, but our lives went in different directions. So, if you're ever listening or watching, yeah, my son's here, but he won't show himself. He won't. Yeah, I know all about that Kirk Douglas thing with Natalie Wood, and Natalie Wood isn't the only one. He was also after Goldie Hawn. Please. Please. I wanted to leave you with a funny story, but I don't think I have one. Well, redheads having a temper is a stereotype. I believe that too. I believe you can have a temper no matter what color your hair is. But yeah. Hey, I'll show you the art. You want to see the art of the one that I'm going to have, the vampire that I'm going to have I think you may have seen it. But I'm going to show you the one I'm going to have the podcast with. Let me show it to you. Let me call you sweetheart. Talk among yourselves, please. I'm in love with you. Let me hear you whisper that you love me too. Let the love light burning in your eyes so true. Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you. I've got a better one. I got a better one. Yes, Seeing Crime. Here we go. Rona Barrett. Oh, yes. I remember Rona Barrett. Thank you so much, my darlings. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show the art, and I'm going to give you, hello, where are we, my darling? I'm going to give you, talk among yourselves, because I'm going to show you the red-headed. His name is Gregor. That is the name I have given him because we're not going to tell his true name. So his name is Gregor. And I'm going to show you, I was given some, what they like to call assets. I was given some assets of what he looked like and blah, blah. And I'm going to show this. I'm going to show you the art that I made for him. And then you can see what I'm talking about. Now, where are you? I was thinking, did I click off? Hello. All right, so let me show you this. Share the screen. This is what I made for him. There we go. And this is it. Let me make sure that you all can see this. Yes. And this is his channel. Make sure you subscribe because you're going to be hearing this is him. Let me see if I can make it bigger. I don't know if I can. Anyway, this is it. Now, I did this entire thing, including the art. And here we are, my beautiful darlings.
Out for thirst. They cast me out for the color of my crown. They feared prophecy more than blood, and silence more than screams. They did not cast me out for thirst. They cast me out for the color of my crown. They feared prophecy more than blood, and silence more than screams. They did not.
It's all very, when you meet somebody like this, it is all very prophetic, meaning they speak in, thank you so much, everybody, for you who have already subbed. Hello. No, you don't have to salt around your TV. He's not that way. No, 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 no. There's not any negative energy. There's not any of that. There's not any of this. Nothing. There's no, oh, I'm going to come after you because I thirst for you. No, you don't have to worry about that. Nothing. I am not concerned. I would not take you anywhere with me that would be putting you in danger, that I would feel like, oh, well, you need to salt. And salt wouldn't keep him away anyway, but he has no sights on anything or anyone. I can tell you that. So you do not have to worry, my darlings. So it's going to be very interesting. I want to invite you to that. And I think the reason I need the House of Zelda cards so bad, are there going to be more? Maybe. Email me and I'll put you on the list. How's that? Because you just never know. They take so long to make. They take a long time. Yes, remember, leave me a thumbs up, subscribe here. If you're watching for the first time, please do me a favor, subscribe, and let's get this channel up to 4,000 subs. Because I'm going to say this, we will have a complete blowout celebration, giveaways. I'll be giving away a lot of things. We will be celebrating. We're going to do all kinds of little goodies. Okay? Well, they went like this, Ashley. They went like this. Okay? Okay? So if you have family and friends, but email me, darling, at the Seeing Crime, and we'll put you on the list. Okay? We will manifest. That's right, Mitchell. Thank you so much. We'll manifest. I'm sorry. This is Manifestation Monday, and I'm sitting here talking about UFOs, flying away, reptilians, everything else. But you know what? We're manifesting a very good time, aren't we? We're being together, and it's all about positivity. Hold on. Whose birthday? Do we have a birthday? Wait a minute. Ashley, when is your birthday? Is Sunday? Oh, well, hello, everybody. We've got to sing her happy birthday, right? Let's go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ashley. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Happy birthday, darling. We're still going to see you Saturday night, but we have to sing you happy birthday right now. So thanks for everybody hanging out. This has just kind of been a really fun time. Thanks so much. I appreciate you, each and every one. Don't forget the little QR code. Don't forget to thank Captain Jerry for being here. And I'm going to go and try to have some good dreams. I think what I'm going to do, my darlings, is I got some little treats from the deli today. I got a half of a Reuben, which I probably won't even eat half of it. I love listen, I'm on this pickle thing. I'm about tearing myself up over the pickles. But pickles, and just a little bit of my son's peach strudel cheesecake. I can't eat that much stuff because I have to wean myself off of sugar because I get eye floaters. If I eat too much sugar, I get eye floaters, and I always know, hello, Zelda, get calm down with the sugar. So yes, always listen, pickle, hello. Not sweet pickles, it's the dill little short ones, cocktail, hello. All right, somebody asked me this. Zelda, can you explain the rice manifestation cup? I certainly can. And if you need it, in the psychic shop, there is a digital that I wrote. It talks about all of the rice jar. In fact, if you want to head on over there to the psychic shop, let me put up a banner. If you want to head on over to the psychic shop, you can get a video reading with me. You can get a rice jar digital download. You can also get a tarot instructional book that I wrote and a Cartomancy instructional book that I wrote. There's a lot of little goodies over there. You might run, don't walk to get yours. And then you can email me and let me know if it's really inexpensive. Yeah, it's like $6. So I printed my good. But here's the rice jar. The intention about the rice jar is that rice attracts. And what you do is I have some cash in here. I have some bills. I have some other things in here. I have little notes of things that I want, things that I do, things helping to attract for my channel, for this channel, opening doors, growth, things for my YouTube channel, blessed, all kinds of goodies, a home that I want, and you stick that in there. Now, if you go on over to the psychic shop here, you can get a check from the universe. Now, what is a check from the universe? It's blank, and it says from the Universal Bank of the Universal Bank of the Universe. Hello, and you sign it. You print it out. Now, it is not a real check. You can't take it to the bank, and don't even try. You'll be thrown out. But it's a check from the universe, and you write in the amount you want. I have a few checks in mind. I'm going to be giving a few more of these jars. I keep mine upside down like this Now, you can get a jar. I mean, I think this one had mushrooms in it, or dried tomatoes, something like that. Um, Upside down, you put it in the, I'm going to put mine in the windowsill tonight because I don't like to put them outside where I am in particularly. So windowsill, just so it gets a little rays of the moon. And we're still coming off the effect of the full moon, the sturgeon moon in Aquarius. Now, I'm going to tell you what happens. We went direct today. Mercury went direct. That's why everybody's been feeling like they've had a gut punch or 7 or 8. Now we're going to have this little hangover of Mercury retrograde. And the Mercury retrograde is kind of this. I just wanted to give you a little kiss before I left. That's the Mercury retrograde thing. So within the next 3 or 4 days, you're going to kind of feel like the lampshade that you've been walking around that's been on your head is all of a sudden lifted, and it's going to be like, but things will get back to normal by the end of the week. And everything is just going to be like, take a breath. Here we go. I think we'll have one more near in December sometime. But yes, dropping things, building. Over the last few days, it's been for whatever. It's getting better. So don't forget, listen to the Proverbs. Listen tomorrow. It will come out at 5 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to be translating. I'm going to be reading the Proverbs, chapter 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 throughout the week. I'll be posting them. And then what I'm going to do is when I get all of the Proverbs together, all chapters 31, then I'm going to put them all in one video, so that if you just want to play it over and over and over, like if you go to sleep at night, you can turn it on, you can play it, and do whatever you want to do. Oh my gosh, Sylvia. My husband was in a terrible car accident. Bless him. Oh my gosh. He's okay. Very bruised and car totaled. Well, thank God. He's okay. The car can be replaced, right? That's the way I look at it. Car can be replaced. Come on over here and visit. Much love to you, each and every one of you. I don't think that I do have a little thing I can play for you so we can go and say goodbye. And I just want to thank you again for being here. I love seeing you all. I got to tell you, I just love seeing you all. And don't forget to come over there. Now, if you want to email me, don't flood my emails. But remember, if this is a story that I can pass on over, and if you've got pictures you want to, then I'll find out if that Conjuring the Unseen is the channel. And sometimes they choose them, sometimes they don't. I don't know. So if it's okay for them to use your story, just say, is it okay? It's okay. Boom. I'll send it on over there. We'll say this is a true story published by or submitted by or whatever you want to do. Okay? So enjoy your week, my darlings. If we have anything more come up, I'll let you know. If not, you enjoy your week. I'll see you Saturday. And we'll just go from there. Okay? So let me get my little thing here ready. And my little outro. So say goodbye to everybody. Okay? Say goodbye. And I'll see you again very soon. Thanks for being here. Putting up with this. This is the Mercury retrograde show. You can see what this is. Talk about a London Royal, right? This is exactly what that is. Much love to each and every one of you. That's it for today. See you again very soon. Bye.